Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. AMC Stock had its big day today. Earlier was up about 7.5% after getting shorted back into the ground. Where we currently sit is a big question, and I know a lot of you guys do have questions about this. And I want to clear up some of those questions because today was indefinitely a bullish event. Indefinitely bullish. Now, when do we realize that bullishness? I think that's very vital that we talk about. Now, we're going to get into the data. We're going to talk about everything that is going on here in the markets today. We're not going to cover Microsoft and Google earnings in this video. I want to use a separate video to go over what their numbers look like, whether they are good or bad. I think that can have big implications on AMC stock as well, because some of those names are highly collateralized in these AMC short positions. In other words, if those stocks drop, hedge funds have to pledge more collateral, more shares, more bonds, more stocks, more cash, high quality stocks at that matter. Apple, Google, Microsoft, stocks that are reporting earnings today, or they have to start covering on their short positions, which is a very logical, I guess, alternative. Granted, the cost to borrow rates and how much they are losing on a monthly basis. So we're going to get into everything you guys need to know, take a deep look at the technicals as well. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. And if you guys want to come trade with me live in real time, link down below in the description of this video as well. So AMC stock, let's just give you guys a brief rundown of what happened with the Chancery Court today. Essentially, the judge said, hey, AMC, hey, lawyers of the class action lawsuit, come to an agreement on what day you guys want to set a hearing for these matters. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and look at the shareholder allegations, the letters that we have been sending to the courts, and that gives the time needed for the magistrate to come to a recommendation, to give the courts a recommendation on what should happen if individual shareholders like me and you are for this settlement. So there's a lot of uncertainty still. We don't even know an exact day this next court date is going to be, but the judge did tentatively say around June 29th to June 30th. So we have a rough idea of when that is going to be, and that in and of itself is a very big problem. There is still 6 days left of April, and then you're talking another 2 months. So another 11 weeks roughly. That is massively going to hurt shorts positions. Now, why is this so bullish? I think that's the big question that a lot of people want to know. AMC stock is positive 2.5% today, was up about 7.5%. But guys, you gotta keep this in mind. The Russell 2000 is down 2.13% today. It's a rough day out there. And AMC is the top dog in the Russell 2000. Out of every other external factor that is weighing on AMC, that's clearly weighing on the broad markets, to see AMC up 2.5% is still a very positive sign. Now, I think this rally will continue, but I think it's going to be prolonged. I think it's going to be days and weeks. This time next week, we could be sitting with AMC at $6.50, $7 per share. That's kind of my expectation here. Whereas going into this, I kind of more or less expected more clarity from the judge. And it looks like the sheer volume of letters and comments that they have gotten to the court so far from us, from retail investors, which is a good thing, it's going to take some time to go over. So the judge was in no place to give any kind of recommendation or what she was going to do. No further guidance. And I was just expecting a little bit more. But we did talk about how if the courts just delay this, that is a bullish thing. But I think it's going to take a little bit more time. I think you're going to be consecutively more bullish. For an example, if you're down 1% tomorrow, it wouldn't surprise me to be up 5% coming Thursday or Friday. right? Or to rally another 5 to 10% throughout this week, to rally another 20% next week, to rally another 10% after that. That's kind of what I'm expecting here. And there's actually a pretty good opportunity with some of those options right now. Cheap, cheap, cheap. And I did go out and make a trade, link down below in the description of this video if you guys want to be a part of that as well. No pressure at all. It's something you guys can use as a tool. It's not financial advice. It's not construed to be financial advice. I'm not a fortune teller. You do lose quite a bit of trades in there, but the ones you hit make up in abundance for the ones that miss, usually, right? We did hit the first Facebook drop that was $100 per contract into $5,000 if you held a couple days after earnings. Trades like that are what makes earnings season such a unique time in the markets. But nonetheless, let's forget about that for a second. Because you do have Microsoft and Google that report earnings here in after hours. And I think that will either continue some of this red and be another weighing factor on AMC, or if it's bullish, well, it could be kind of not an issue, right? Because I think AMC under the surface, just delaying the court date is a good thing. It will be bullish. If you don't have this negative factor, then I do think that is a more or less positive thing. And she made me, I was using her toy to prop up the camera. She did not want to share her her suitcase, but nonetheless, that's kind of what we have going on with AMC as of right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at the data behind AMC stock. Currently up about 2.5%. Live short interest of free float 26.06%. 134.56 million shares currently sold short. Cost to borrow rates ticking up a little bit here today. Now sitting at a high of 455% for the cost to borrow average. Cost to borrow max today hit a high of 471%, and cost to borrow minimum hit a high of 310% earlier in the day today. So really the way this is bullish for AMC is those cost to borrow rates being so high. For the next 2 months, they're going to have to pay shorts hundreds of millions of dollars to remain in their short positions. That is something that is not cheap. It takes away from the total P&L that could be realized on this arbitrage trade. And if they've been short in this name since January, February, March, it's likely getting to a point where there is no profits left in this arbitrage trade. Throw the uncertainty in there and the time that might have to kind of happen because before this is finally over with. Because if you're getting the next court date in June, if there's a revo or something else going on, you could be talking August by the time a reverse split even happened. So I think that is a big problem for hedge funds that are short in AMC, and I think that's the underlying reason why this is so bullish. Now, taking a look at the option activity today, hedge funds obviously don't see it that way. Only a couple calls being placed here on the option chain today, being really skewed by some large put positions. So you have a July 21st $10 put for $3.5 million, a May 19th $10 put for $2.7 million, and a July 21st $10 put as well for $1.22 million. I think this is more of a hedging kind of strategy here, since notice it's a $10 put deep in the money. They're not expecting the stock to drop to $2 to $3 anymore like you were seeing for really the last couple of weeks. A lot of that option activity for last Friday as well as this upcoming Friday are at that $2 and $3 puts. That's where most of the open interest is. In fact, if you look right here, 82,000 for open interest at the $3 put and 79,000 for open interest at the $2 put. At strikes that are closer to the money, something like the $5 put, you got only 39,000 for open interest and 27,500 for volume on the day. Not really a lot of, I guess, negativity, it looks like, on the option chain for this Friday. It looks like hedge funds have been all but wrong yet again. Not a big shocker there. Now, taking a look at the option activity, you've seen quite a few calls go into the money, quite a few puts go out the money here today, likely as AMC stock has broke above $5 per share. In the money calls at 34,000, out the money calls at 115,000, in the money puts at 31,000, and out of the money puts at 300,000. So you're looking at some pretty big numbers here as far as the option activity, and based off of how these earnings come out and people feel about this court decision over the next couple of days, you could definitely start to see some calls go into the money and some puts out the money. Could drive some incremental buying pressure with AMC stock, guys. So there you have that. If we go ahead and take a look at the technicals on AMC, I think just the price action today is very bullish. Like I said in the beginning of the day, when the markets were not so bloody, right? You kind of I don't know what's going on with this chart. When the markets weren't so bloody, when markets started trading today, you see it kind of went up in the beginning of trading. AMC stock was up 7.5%. And that was all she wrote in the markets. People have really been shorting the Russell. And I think a pretty dramatic way they might be shorting AMC is actually shorting the Russell 2000. To see a move down like this today wouldn't surprise me if they're just trying to short AMC by shorting the Russell. And we'll talk about that in another video later on today as well, because that used to be a thing that happened a while ago, was people just go out and short the Russell. Because if you short the Russell, you're mostly shorting AMC, and it's not going to come up as the short interest is 30 or 40% in AMC. If the Russell's being massively short, it comes up as short interest on the Russell, but really they're playing a downside move in AMC stock. So there you have that. Technicals, like I said, don't let me get too far into the rant. You know, your boy likes to talk over here. We click on the daily candlestick chart. Look at beautiful, beautiful candlesticks. So you're in a firm bullish uptrend. This has been confirmed today because you would have broke under this line. And I was kind of just assuming you guys can paint this picture here. You would have broke under this. This is a very bullish technical formation. And if you want to draw the top end of this range, you're going to do something like that. This is bullish, right? You broke out above the 50-day moving average, got rejected almost instantly at the 100-day moving average here today. And these are going to be the real levels over the next couple of days. And I think give it a week by now, you might be at $6.50, $7 per share, just depending on how markets kind of react to some of these earnings and how, you know, analyst commentary about this next court date kind of comes out. If there is this narrative of more doubt being spread, I think that's going to be more bullish for AMC. But long story short, hedge funds really can't afford to stay in these short positions that they have massively loaded up on, with cost of bar rates 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 900%, 1,000%. You can't stay in that short position forever. Every single month that goes by, you lose more and more money. So do watch for that upside move. AMC stock currently got about 10 minutes left of the trading day, up 3.5% on the day at $5.13 per share. That $5 level is a critical support level. If and when you do get downside over the next couple of days, $5 per share, that's the key level that I will be watching for. Again, I do have a trade on AMC that I initiated today that I am very excited about. If you guys want access to all of my trades in real time, link down below in the description of this video. Not financial advice. None of this video is as well. Come to your own conclusions. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own due diligence. You guys know the disclaimer here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.